Welcome to Speak on Stage. Really busy show today, and I'm fascinated by the subject. It's one of my pet hobbies and pet subjects to look at, which is this. And I know you're going to say, what, a picture of your face looking grumpy, Dave? No, not at all. It's about the rock star attitude and the way that if you think like a rock star in your industry, in your niche, in your lane, then you will find that you'll have an attitude that gets you further faster. Now, let me put this into some kind of perspective so you get kind of what I'm talking about. We all know people who've joined the company and fast-tracked to the top. And everyone's gone, you can't do that. She's already done it. She's doing that. Oh, look, oh my goodness, now second in command of a company. And now she's left the company to start a new one. Or she's gone off to join something else. How did that happen? And you watch people accelerate and fast-track. And because they have a different world to everybody else. And they have different rules to everybody else. But they also have better successes than most other people. And today's show is all about working our way through those different things to give you some illustrations and some insights into what the things are you should have basing your life on to be able to create success. Now, these are the things we don't get taught at school. At school, we get taught to stay in our lane, to sit down in your classroom and be quiet. Don't talk when anyone else is talking. Don't ask questions that are ridiculous. But how can you find out what you really need to know unless you ask a question that everybody doesn't agree with? I mean, the thing is, if you knew the answer to it, you wouldn't ask a question. You're asking because even if it sounds stupid to everybody else, that's why you're asking in the first place. So from school, it gets beaten into us. But it got beaten into us into a system that said, look, and I know I have a go at educators. I'm not having a go at educators. I'm having a go at the educational sisters. Sisters? The educational sisters, they're the worst of all the educators. You should see them on their motorbikes riding around, waving hoo-has. I don't know what a hoo-ha is, but they've got them. Too many hoo-has. Right, educational system. So it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game. That's what I'm saying. So, going back to the educational system. It taught you that if you played the game the right way, you'd end up in a nice job. And from that, you would have the promise that you could actually live in society, have the car or the cars that you wanted to have the wife or the husband that you wanted to have the 2.3 kids. Does that mean that was a head? I don't know. But you have your dog and whatever it was, and you'd be fine for life. That was a deal. That's a deal that I was growing up to believe. That's why you went to school, and that's why you got the impression that everything was equal, and you might do well at that, and they do well at that, but it doesn't matter. It'll all work out right in the end. And what happened after I'd graduated, not because I graduated, but after I'd left school and started waking up to what the reality of what the world really was, then in the UK, it became really expensive. There were no government grants to get your education paid for. You had to pay for it yourself by taking out a huge loan. And this huge loan would be something you pay off for almost the rest of your life, if not the rest of your life. And with no guaranteed job. So you come out there with a degree, and the degree showed you that you're good at studying, and it showed other people you're good at studying. But the problem is it didn't teach you how to get a job, didn't teach you anything you really needed for that job to exist, and it didn't teach you the most important thing, which is what you really need to learn from school in the playground, which is how to get on with people and understand how games get played internally in organizations, and so how you can conquer them by working your way up and having a better insight. It also didn't teach you about the things that you really needed to concentrate on to make yourself happy in life. The idea was that if you work really hard and you do the stuff that you're told to do, then you will get happiness as a byproduct. But not everybody should be happy. You should be happy with your work, happy you've got a job, happy you can watch TV on a night time because everybody else is the same boat. Truth is, everybody else is wrong. You deserve to have the best life you can have, period. And if that's a one life at 100 or one life at 1,000,000, doesn't matter how many people. You deserve to have the best life that you could possibly have. And if other people don't like it, then they can... bad things. Okay, how to have a rockstar attitude. Number one, jump and grow wings on the way down. This is my own personal phrase. Jump and grow wings on the way down. The reason I say that is because I think that's very important. Can we have some music? Maybe we should have some music. No, music's not going to play. It's a shame. That would have been really nice with music. We could have added it to this scene every time. I'll do it for tomorrow. Okay, jump and grow wings on the way down. Take a calculated risk. Think about it. Think about, you know what, I could almost do this. There's a bit of a gap, but I reckon if I jump, I can probably learn the things I need to get to the other side, and I'll grow wings on the way down. Does that make sense? I do that all the time. When I started doing this show, I had no idea whether it was going to be successful or not. But I knew that I would learn as I went. And my background is I train people to speak. I'm a virtual broadcaster. I've done a ton of gigs since lockdown. Doing a live show should be okay. Things go wrong, and they do go wrong all the time. My computer keeps freezing, as you know, because you've been watching it. It's okay. Get a little bit stressed. And make a noise like that. Number 2. Become an artist and push your creative flair. Do not become a pleaser. Now, there's a book which I may talk about in the future called The Icarus Deception by Seth Godin, who's one of my favourite authors of all time. And Seth talks about the fact that Icarus is a famous story about a guy and his son who tried to escape from a prison, I believe, by making wings out of wax and feathers. Problem is, they took off to fly, and they're flapping, flap, 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 or flap, 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 because they probably had small wings. And if they went too close to the sea, then the salt would make the wings heavy, and they'd drown. And they went too close to the sky, the sun would melt the wax, and then the wings would fall to bits, and so they'd drown. So what they had to do was stay in between like that. And I can't remember what happened because I'm not that old, and it's not probably a true story anyway, because I mean, how are you going to do it out wax and toilet paper and feathers? Oh, it's true. Really? Okay. So anyway, the point is that if you stay safe, you get nothing out of it. If you're an artist, treat your business as an artist, wherever your business is. Treat it as an art form and be prepared to have people laugh at you and say this is ridiculous, and keep doing stuff that makes you uncomfortable, because as you grow, there'll be enough people to turn around and say, wow, that's amazing, because your craft will grow with you. If you stay in your comfort zone and just do crowd-pleasing stuff, you'll end up in a situation where people just get bored, and also you leave a very simple level where people can jump at the same level as you and go higher than you in perception. So you want to keep pushing yourself as an artist. We'll talk about that more in a future episode. Okay, get used to criticism and only use whatever moves you forward. So when people turn around and say, you're rubbish at something, or we like you at something, or you're fantastic, or whatever it is, I said this yesterday, imagine putting all the criticisms into a bag, and you take out all the stuff that's going to help you, and you throw out all the bits that are really rubbish, and say, right, learn to not pick your nose in front of a camera. Good point, I'll do that. And you put it behind you, and you never pick your nose in front of the camera, and you go faster because of the fact that you're learning stuff, and it powers your engine. Does that make sense? No? Yes, good, thank you. Give me your comments all the time. I love to have your comments. How you doing? Are you with me? Are you? Good. All right, number 4, don't just dream. Don't just dream, go for it. Obsess your reality until it's too uncomfortable to stay. Think about where you want to be, and get uncomfortable with where you were. I changed so many things since I went into lockdown. I've hardly been out of my car because I broadcast from here every day, and I have meetings every day with people all around the world. I coach people with my Industry Icon program all around the world. So why would I want to go and sit in a shopping mall and wait for somebody to arrive half an hour late so we could have a coffee and they could go, well, you know, mustn't grumble, life's all right. Get me on Zoom. Are you there? Yeah? How's life? Mustn't grumble. Life's all right? Fantastic. Cheers, bye. Done. No parking, no coffee, no problem. Number 5, get quirky and trust your internal quality control device. As you start producing stuff that's different from everybody else, you will find that you alienate yourself from everybody else. There's no doubt that somebody like Prince Rogers Nelson is now passed. He died at the age of 59, unfortunately, was a genius. If you ever saw Purple Rain, he was just an incredible artist and a pretty good actor as well. Then he went on to just change his style. He started off as a rocker, a sort of funky rocker, and then he reinvented himself all the way through to do all sorts of quirky, weird, but brilliant dance music. And every time you got Prince, you got a different version of Prince. He played about 30 different instruments, not at the same time, because that'd be like crazy. He'd be like that, way! People go, he's just dropping stuff. Why do you learn violin? Why do you let him play violin? He's terrible at it. Put it down, Prince. Just guitar. Okay. Purple Rain. No. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then I'll probably put you off watching the film. But Prince was brilliant doing all these things. Now, not all his albums were fantastic for me. Some ones were very experimental, and he's like, can you just get to the pop songs, please? But some of it, in context, were brilliant. But over the period of his life, which was a short life, passed away at 59. Unbelievable. What a legacy. For the amount of stuff that he churned out, good, bad, and ugly, when you pick out all the best bits, it's more stuff than most people have in their entire lifetime if everybody in the band writes music. Seriously. So get quirky, trust your own ability to move forward, and don't care what anybody else thinks about it. Even if they're paying your money, maybe you should work for somebody else. Or maybe you should do stuff that doesn't pay, but it's personal to you. Number 6, push until they can't ignore you. This is the thing about being a rock star. This is the thing about pushing yourself in the industry. When you are ready, the right people will turn around and say, you know what? We've been watching you for a while. Let's come and have a chat. And then turns into money. Don't worry about the fact that they should notice you. You do have to make opportunities. You do have to network. But eventually, if you're so good at what you do, the right people will find you and they will decide it's time. If it doesn't happen like that, you won't care because you'll have made it happen for yourself anyway. And my casing point for this is what they're called. Not what they're called. It will come to me in a moment. Pure something. There are a bunch of, there's 5 guys, that's 4, 5 guys who once a month bring out a video, they put it on YouTube, and they do lots of crazy sporty type stuff. And within one day of releasing the latest video, it was worth, hold on, I might have it here, let me just have a quick look. Just talk amongst yourselves for a little while. You might still be here, oh, wrong password. I'm on my other computer here. I'm not just typing into the table because that would make me a complete idiot. Dude Perfect. Google it. Dude Perfect. Their new video came out 2 days ago, and within one day of it being launched, 17 million people had watched it. That's my point. So these guys do quirky stuff. Who wear the baseball caps back to front. They've got their own shows, half-an-hour show, 17 million people watching it. Could you monetize that? Yeah, big time. But they would never want to be snapped up by a TV station, because the freedom they have to do what they want with an audience that quite clearly loves what they do would be ruined if they hand it over to somebody who wants to make what they do into conventional TV. Could you guarantee you could get 17 million viewers in one day just by telling people we're going live? With subscribers, they've got what, 54, some crazy number, millions of subscribers? No, you couldn't. But their business model is completely different, and with online and with social media, you don't need conventional. You can do it yourself. Okay. Number 7, ask constantly what others need. So if you want to do stuff, and it's true kind of for art, but it's not true for art, but it's true for services, what do people need? Ask them what they need and keep adapting and changing your stuff. And I'm not saying that you have to please people, but if you're producing a product for people and they have a challenge that they need to get over, if you produce something for that, they will pay for it. So add the business model to the artist that you are, right? So for instance, I do a show every day, and I help people to be able to do shows, to speak on stage, to create their products and create their marketing and their branding. The proof is here, but also I show enough evidence to be able to help you to get to where you need to be. Does that make sense? Yes, no? No, yes? Yes, thank you. All right, number 8, hedgehog your skills and brand. Hedgehog skill set. This is a big section. I will go over hedgehogs again. Meanwhile, Google the hedgehog concept, and you'll see 3 circles. 3 circles. One is best that you could be in the world. One is what do you have passion about, and the other one is revenue. What can you make money out of? What are you best at in the world? What do you love doing? What can you make money out of? In the center is your natural hedgehog, your natural thing you should be doing to make you happy and rich for the rest of your life. All right, number 8 was that. Number 9, get brilliant at your craft. And not just get brilliant at your craft, your chosen craft, not lots of different things. Choose the one thing you're brilliant at and just do that. But also make sure there's evidence people can find that you're brilliant at doing it. Don't just say, look at me, I can play piano. That's not piano, it's a violin. It's a very special piano. No, it's not. I can't do that joke. But anyway, it's worth money in the bank to you when you work out what you're brilliant at and leave evidence. So when people say, oh, by the way, are you any good? Can you do this? Have you ever thought about it? You go, yeah, look at this. And you give them the evidence. Or you send them a link, or you send them to a website, or you've got a video pre-made all about that kind of stuff. How do you make those videos? That's for another show. And I teach all my clients when we do our industry icon program exactly how to make the promotional videos that make people go, wow, let me throw money at you because I really want to work with you. And you get loads of gigs. Because that's how it works. They won't do it until they see that you can do it. And they can't see you can do it until you can do it. So you've got this kind of catch-22 thing going on. But there are ways of hijacking it and getting you there faster. All right, and number 10, tell naysayers and idiots and people who don't believe that you are so good at what you do that they can kiss it. I taught my daughter this from a very early age. I said, if people don't like what you do and you really believe that what you do is correct, then you should do it anyway. And if people don't like it, you just go, kiss it. Is it rude? Yes. Is it offensive? Yes. Why? It's meant to be. I hope these ideas are right for you. I hope you got something out of them. I've gone through them quite quickly because I've whittled on quite a lot in today's show. But I think this is useful for you. Let me know. Was it good? Type it in. I like to feel the relationship that we're creating here. Because you might want to start your own business. You might say, I'm really stuck in where I am. You might have lost your job. And you're wondering, what am I gonna do? Why am I stuck in this position? How can I fix it? These are the attitudes you need to be able to move yourself forward, where you're not looking for other people to help you. You can do it fine yourself. And you can grow your own brand, and you can be a speaker, and you can be an industry icon. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? We'll sound like Tony Robbins now. Just say yes.